Yo guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be looking at the 4 most dominant mobile banking services and try and work out which one is best. So quick disclaimer, this video is aimed for people in the UK. If you're in another country, the services and availability may be different. Before we get into it, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below and click that bell so you never miss a video. So the 4 we're going to look at today are Monzo, Starling, Revolut and N26. Now these are all free to set up and free to have an account. So I picked these based on the fact that they're the biggest at the moment and they offer the best services within the UK. Okay, so most of these mobile banking services have been around for a few years and they're starting to get really popular. Their main selling point is that they basically give you more control over your money with instant access, real-time notifications, so whenever you're spending, it'll let you know on your phone, and cheaper transactions when you're abroad. As companies, they also don't have the same overheads as regular banks, so hopefully they should be passing that saving on to you. So they are mobile banks, so they work just through your phone, so you never have to go into a branch to sort anything out, everything's just done through your phone. And they're also compatible with Google Pay and Apple Pay. So now we know the basic similarities, let's look at them all in a bit more detail. And hopefully we'll find out which one's best suited for you. So I split them up into categories so we can compare them directly as to what they offer in terms of features and services. Right, so the first thing we're going to look at is the setup. So I've got an account for each one of these and the setup for all of them is super easy. It only takes about 5-10 minutes to do. The only complaint I really have is that N26 and Revolut both offer an additional service that you can pay for monthly. But during the setup, they make it very clear that they want you to get the pay monthly one rather than the free one. So for instance, when you're choosing your card, it automatically has the paid option ticked rather than the free version. And this is basically just trying to trip you up. So if you're not paying attention, you might accidentally subscribe to a pay monthly service that you just don't want. Now I don't have any problem with the fact that they offer this service. I just personally don't like that kind of business where they're trying to pressure you into getting the paid version and almost tricking you into getting it when they have a standard version out there for free. So during the setup, part of that is getting your card in the post. With Revolut, you have to put £10 into your account before they'll send you a card, which is fine, but that's just something to consider. So I'm not sure if this is a regular occurrence, but for me, when I was setting up my Revolut card and I deposited my £10 into it and I was trying to order my free card, every single time when I got through to the end of the process, it wouldn't actually let me order it. It just kept forcing me into looking at the paid options, which I just didn't want. And for days it would not let me order a card, and then eventually it just changed and allowed me to order my free card. Now I'm not sure if this is a bug in their system or if that's just the way they do things, that they kind of leave you there waiting until you get the paid membership before you can get the free one. I don't know. So again, it's just something to realise that they are trying to pressure you into getting that paid monthly option. So other than that, the setup was all really straightforward with all of them, and the cards took about 2 to 3 days to come for each one. It was all really fast and really quick. And then once it's arrived, the setup is just instant basically, and then you can get spending on your card and topping it up. So now we're going to look at spending and withdrawing money. So with all these cards, when purchasing goods with your card, there is no spending limit, so you can spend as much as you want completely for free without being charged anything on them, as long as you have the money available in your account. So they do differ a little bit when it comes to withdrawing money from a cash point. So Monzo and N26 at the moment offer the best service where you can withdraw an unlimited amount of money as long as you have the funds available and you won't get charged anything. So Starling lets you take out £300 a day with no more than 6 transactions per day. And finally, Revolut only lets you take out £200 a month from a cash point. Now think of this what you will. I personally don't think this is a huge issue because I rarely take out cash from a cash point, but for some this may be a deal breaker. Okay, next we're going to look at how you can separate your money within your account. So I like to call this partitioning your money, and I think this feature is one of the biggest benefits of these mobile banking services. All 4 of these banks have a service where you can split up your money within your one account and put it aside in what's called a pot, a vault, a space. They're all named a bit differently, but realistically they're all exactly the same thing. So I find this really great if you're trying to save for something, because you can just put a certain amount of money aside every month or whatever. So you can have multiple pots or spaces and label them for different things. So they all work pretty much exactly the same way. They let you set targets, you can make ongoing deposits into them, kind of like direct debits. And another feature which I think is really great is that they let you round your spending into one of these pots. So what that basically means is, say you buy something for £2.95, what it's going to do is in your main account, say that you spent £3 and round it up, and take that 5p and put it into a pot. So you can save money without really realising it just from small amounts of change. And over time, this builds up and can be really useful. So for me, Monzo is one step ahead of the rest. So at the time of this recording, as long as you have £500, you can put that into a savings pot. You can gain interest on your money. So it's basically just like having a savings account within your one app. Now the interest rate isn't amazing, but you can earn up to 1.55%, and these can be short-term instant access or longer term. These interest rates aren't amazing, but it's still better than nothing, but I still do think it's a great asset to have within the app. Right, so now we're going to look at using these accounts abroad. So all these cards work off MasterCard, so they can be accepted in all the exact same places. I mean, MasterCard's basically accepted everywhere all around the world, so you don't really have to worry about that. But the thing to consider is just the fees, so we'll go into that now. So Starling and Revolut offer the best service for when you're abroad. So you can spend and withdraw money from cash points as much as you want, and you won't get charged a thing other than the local exchange rate at that given time in that area. Now we go on to Monzo, which isn't quite as good. So you can pay for things as much as you want using your card, but you can only withdraw the equivalent of £200 from a cash point on your card. After that, you'll then be charged 3% on top of the local exchange rate. So that's fine, but you just need to make sure when you're abroad with a Monzo, you make sure you're spending most of your money using the card. So with N26, I would avoid using this one abroad. It charges you 1.7% for every overseas transaction. So if you travel a lot, I'd definitely avoid N26. Now, security. So everyone has a kind of perceived perception that these services aren't safe. Now, that's just complete rubbish. They totally are. They are fully registered FSCS banks, and that's exactly the same as a high street bank. So what that basically means is that your money is covered and secure for up to £85,000. So basically, if you have some fraudulent activity on your account, you'll be covered up to £85,000. Another great feature with all these banks is that through the app, you can freeze your card. So if your card gets stolen or you lose it and you don't want any fraudulent behaviour happening on it, you can just go into the app and click freeze your card. And what this means is that whoever has it, they are not going to be able to use it even if they know the PIN code. Now this is a great feature, and now the high street banks have started to incorporate it into their own apps. But I honestly think it works a lot better in these. And if you do lose your card, you can just click order a new one through the app as well, and they'll just send you one straight away. You don't have to worry. Okay, splitting your bills. So Monzo, Revolut and Starling all have a really great bill share option. So what this lets you do is basically split a bill with other people. So for example, say you and some friends go on holiday and you want to split everything equally, but it's just no fun calculating who's paid for what every single day and splitting it all up. So what these apps do is they basically do all that for you. So you basically create yourself a little group within the app. So what this will do is it will track you and your friends' spending, and it will let you know exactly who owes who and how much you all owe each other without having to work it all out yourselves. Now, this is a really great service, and I highly recommend you using next time you're on holiday with friends, or if you're living with other people and you need to try and split the bills equally without having to look at receipts and everything to try and work everything out. The only downside is that you all have to be using the same platform. So say I've got a Starling account and all my friends have Monzos, I'll then have to get a Monzo as well to join them. And currently N26 doesn't have a service like this. Okay, so now we're going to look at extra features. Okay, so this is where Revolut really kind of sets the bar high, as it has a lot of extra features and services built within the app, which the others currently do not offer. So for example, it has a built-in currency converter, which is really useful, and it also gives you the option of getting insurance through the app. There are more, but you have to be a premium member, so I'm not going to go into those because we're just looking at the free accounts today. So Monzo, Starling and Revolut all also offer a borrowing/overdraft service at a reasonably good rate. Okay, pay monthly fees. So like I said earlier, all these cards I'm reviewing today are completely free and have no monthly fees. However, I should mention that N26 and Revolut do have a premium service available if that's something you're interested in. Now the bit everyone really cares about, the card. Now this is all subjective, so it's going to come down to personal preference, but they do all have really great designs and are just a bit more fun than the regular high street bank cards that you can get. So basically Monzo, Starling and Revolut all have really bright colours, and then N26 has a really cool quality where it's kind of translucent and you can see through it. I'm not really going to say too much more about it, it just really comes down to personal preference, but with each of them you'll get something that's a bit different to make you stand out a little bit. I do personally really like the bright colours, as it makes it really easy to find your card if you have a lot of other cards within your wallet. So you guys can let me know which one you think looks the best in the comments down below. I'd love to know what you guys think. Now we're going to take a look at the apps themselves. Now to a degree this again comes down to personal preference, but there are some features which are just generally easier to use in certain apps. Personally, I think Monzo and Revolut have the best user interface. This is due to how clean and simple they are to use. So they all run reasonably well on the phone I've been using, which is a OnePlus 6T, but I have however come across a couple of bugs with Revolut, as I mentioned earlier during the setup process. And I personally just find N26 a bit sluggish to use, which I don't think it should be considering the phone I'm running it on. Okay, customer service. So as they're not high street banks, there is no branch where you can go meet face to face with someone if you have any issues. It's all handled online. Now all these banks offer 24/7 customer chat support. So what this does is it lets you message your complaint or issue that you're having directly to someone, and they'll usually respond within minutes. Now I've never had to use this myself. I have heard from friends that they work really well. Right, so that basically does it for today's video. So I obviously couldn't go into too much depth about every single feature, but hopefully this kind of gives you a better idea about how these apps work and which one might be best for you. If you found this video useful in any way, I'd really appreciate it if you dropped a like down below, as it will really help me out. And let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. What do you think about these mobile banking services? Are you leaning towards getting one over the other, or do you want any at all? I'm really interested to know. I'll also leave a link in the description below for all these mobile banking services, so you can go check them out for yourselves. And before I forget, make sure you guys follow me on Instagram. I'll put it on screen now and in the link down in the description below. And please make sure you hit that subscribe button and click that bell so you never miss a video. And hopefully I can continue to save you guys money every single day. Take it easy guys, and keep saving.